All right, we're going. We're going. Okay, you guys, what is this, week 3, right? Are we in week 3? That's crazy. Of our Superstar Disney Dash. I don't know what we even call it anymore, but I liked that. I just went with it because that sounded good. And I have to tell you, like, I'm really excited to be talking to you tonight. And as I was thinking about this, I started thinking about why Kate and I put this group together. And I wanted to kind of dig into that a little more before I share kind of what I prepared for you guys tonight. When Kate and I met, we honestly met because she's coming to speak out in Utah at Super Saturday. And so we started talking and we started sharing kind of some of the things that we've been doing. And of course, like, we both came from that teaching community. And so we were talking about like that lifestyle and how hard it was and all that stuff. A lot of you guys are probably teachers on here. And so, and I started talking to Kate and she was telling me like about how she invites and all this stuff. And I was like, I literally don't invite. Like, that scares me to death. And she was like, what? Like what? You don't invite? And I was like, yeah, I don't like to invite. And she's like, well, what do you do? And I was like, well, I just like to use attraction marketing. And it was cool because at that moment we're like, okay, we need to work together because we complement each other so well. And we can really help the coaches on our team who maybe struggle with the inviting or who are really good at the inviting or who struggle with the attraction marketing or who are really good at attraction marketing and whatever. So that's kind of why we decided to do these calls, because we're like, we have so much that we can give to each other's teams, because honestly, whatever we're really good at, that's what we share the most about, right? Like, those are the things that my coaches hear the most from me about, is how to use attraction marketing or how to post or how to use call to actions. And Kate is probably always getting on you guys in your team about inviting and doing more invites. And you guys are all nodding your head and are like, yeah, we invite like more than probably anyone in the whole world. And that's good. It's good. And so tonight, you guys, I mean, a couple weeks ago, what was it? 2 weeks ago, you guys already heard, you guys already heard from Kate about inviting and why it's so important, and some of like the most basic and easy invites and what it like really is. And that inspired me to do things that are hard for me. And I feel like I'm texting Kate and I'm gonna be like, you'll be so proud of me. Like, today I sent her a text. I'm like, I'm 3 for 3 days this week. And my coaches are probably like, what, Melissa? Because I always tell them to invite, but I wasn't doing it. And I wasn't being that example for them. And since we began this group, like, that's really been something I've focused on, and we've all been doing it together. And it's really changed a lot of things for my business and for my coaches and hopefully for all of you. So tonight I'm sharing the other side of that. Kate has already blessed you all with her wisdom on inviting and why it's so amazing. And tonight I'm hoping to somehow inspire you to create better content, create better call to actions, use better script or copyright or whatever you want to call it, and just share more and invite more, not only in your messaging, but also in your posting and in your stories. So I have a couple of different things I'm going to do. I am going to share my screen with you guys. Maybe. I was a teacher, but I'm like not the best at everything. Okay. So I created this cute thing on Canva. Okay, one of the things, you guys can all see that, right? I can only see a few of you. Someone nod or, okay, I see you now. Okay, perfect. So I titled this Calls to Action for the Win. I don't even know if that's correct English. Is it call to actions? It's calls to action. I don't know. Anyway, you guys get the point. The hashtag is one that I actually learned from Micah, and I think Micah's on now. I think I saw her jump on. But this is something that I feel like has been huge for my business always, and that I learned from Micah, and that I really took to heart, and that has honestly built my business from the ground up. So consistency does breed success. And I got tripped out for a second because I said consistency does breed, but it says consistency breeds success. And I thought I had an extra S in there, but I did it right. So consistency is so, so important in the things that you are putting out into your social media. And I say that because if you are somewhat or sort of talking to people, or if you're sort of inviting, if you're sort of posting, if you're just sometimes putting things up and you're sometimes showing up on your social media, but not always, you're not always on your stories, or not always putting a post up, you're going to see your business kind of do that as well. And that's something that I've seen in my coaches. They'll have an amazing, amazing month, and then they'll kind of step off the gas. They'll maybe miss a few posts or not show up a couple of days. And then it just feels like they're constantly trying to sprint to catch up. Like they're trying so hard and it takes so much more. You guys have heard that analogy probably by Darren Hardy, where he talks about pumping the well. And you have to pump and pump and pump and pump and pump and pump, and you're continually pumping until you finally get water. And the second you stop pumping, the water goes back down, and you have to work really, really hard to get that flow coming again. So that's really, I think, what this is all about. And I feel like in the past year, I've really found a good flow and have tried to continually pump that well and keep the flow going. And I want to share that with you guys and hopefully help you to see that as well. Okay, so first and foremost, like, what is a call to action? I don't know like what or how many newer or older or more veteran or whatever coaches we have. So I really wanted to kind of lay it all out there for you. I was an English teacher too, so explaining and defining things is really like second nature for me. So what is a call to action? A call to action is to invite someone to respond to a post or story. They're taking action. Okay, so you're inviting them to do something. They're taking action. They're either going to comment, or they're going to email, or they're going to drop a GIF, or they're going to fill out a form. They're going to provide, they're going to take action. They see something on your post or in your story or whatever that has inspired them to do something. Okay, you're asking them to do an action, to do something. And that's really like the most basic form. I also forgot to tell you guys, I want this to be interactive. So as you're listening, and if you have questions and whatever, I want you guys to ask those like in real time. I don't want to wait until the very end and then have to go back. So if you're hearing things and you're wanting me to clarify or go into more detail or whatever, ask it while we're doing that. Okay, so what should a call to action look like? In my opinion, I think pictures speak much louder than words. And this is something that I learned a long time ago when I was like a little kid, but I heard the phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And that is exactly what Instagram and Facebook really has turned into. People see your picture and that is what catches their attention first. Okay? So you want to make sure that your pictures are giving people the opportunity to stop their scroll and read what you have to offer. Okay? They know already before anything, like they see your picture, they see the transformation, or they see like a picture of your glowing face or whatever it might be. And that is what draws them in. So you really need to share your story in your picture before you share your story in your words. Okay. So I think the side-by-side pictures are amazing storytellers. And so first and foremost, take a lot of pictures. It's going to feel awkward at first. You might feel depressed, or like I did. If you look at my face in that picture, I mean, I think, okay, I obviously was not happy with my body and I wasn't happy taking pictures, but I was doing it anyway. And some of you might be in a great place. Maybe you do feel good about your body and you still need to take lots of pictures. Okay. So taking a lot of pictures at a lot of different angles or in lots of different outfits in lots of different settings, you're going to become like the master at selfies. You're going to become the master at, mirror pictures. You have to really get good at it. And you'll notice sometimes you'll scroll or see pictures of coaches pop up and you're like, dang, that picture looks really good. And then others you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's the dumbest picture I've ever seen. Okay. And that is just real life. You guys are going to see those things. And so I want you to keep in mind, like as you're scrolling or as you're interacting with people and as you're inviting, like also identify what catches your attention. What would make you stop scrolling and read a post? And those are the types of things that you need to recreate. Okay. I share a ton of transformation posts and I took a lot of pictures and it was really uncomfortable. But when you show the before and when you show the during or I don't like to call it an after because like Shaun T says, like it's a journey. We're always on the journey. You can slip back down the slide just as fast as you climbed up it, or as slow or whatever. You have to be continually working on your journey and focusing on the today. And I know that I get a lot of people who will say like, gosh, like I just don't feel confident in my skin, or I don't feel confident taking pictures. I don't like pictures of me. Like I remember thinking that a lot. I remember when I was pregnant, especially because I feel like I get pregnant everywhere. And so I don't even like looking at pictures of like my face gets pregnant and I'll look back and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that doesn't even look like me. I don't feel like myself. But the reason why it's so important is because you can relate so much to what other people are experiencing and feeling. And I think that's the key, is knowing that you have something that someone else really wants and needs, and you can give that to them and you can show them like, this is where I was, this is where I've been, and this is where I am now. Like, is this how you feel? Is this something you can relate to? And I love what Kate wrote in her copyright. I'm just going to read it, at least the beginning. And she just said, a year ago, I was at rock bottom. I was sad, burned out, unhealthy, self-conscious, hiding under baggy clothes, spending Sunday nights bawling my eyes out because I didn't feel like I could handle yet another week of feeling stuck in a career I wasn't passionate about and a body I didn't recognize. Okay, so number one, she talked about how she felt, but she also related it to her job, and she also related it to her health, right? Like she covered the whole thing, and she didn't even, that was like one paragraph. But did you not feel like how she must have been feeling in that picture on the left? You feel it. And then it's like a flash forward. The girl you know today is happy, fueled daily by her work, healthy and confident. Okay, right there, like that would have sold me because I was that exact same person. Dreaded going to work every day. Literally would cry like getting ready for work. Literally would like bawl my eyes out the second I dropped my kids off at daycare. Like if you feel those things, what you're feeling is what you need to write. And sometimes it's hard. And I know like when I was a teacher, I was more nervous to share those things because I didn't want like either like my principal or a fellow teacher to like tattle on me or tell people like she hates her job or whatever. And so you do have to be careful, I think, but sharing how you feel is okay. You just have to like express the feeling separate from your work. So you can say like, I feel uncomfortable, or I feel unsettled in what I'm doing, or I really feel like there's something more out there for me, without saying like, I hate my job, I want to quit, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I don't want you guys to get into trouble at work if you are working. But just know like you can still share your story. You can still share that transformation. You can still create a call to action by sharing the story of your transformation?
Melissa, I'm just going to like reiterate that, because when I was a teacher, I didn't share that part. Like, I didn't say anything about really like how like stuck I really was. I really just talked about more about how like I wasn't tired anymore and I didn't feel burnt out because I was filling up my cup every single day. So there were different ways that I was saying it, because I did have like a couple of staff members following me. And so I was like, oh, like, I don't really know. So I just thought of like, how can I say this inside transformation without like throwing everything under the bus?
Yeah.
So I would just talk about like, I was exhausted all the time, or I was so burned out, but like now I can be like, I truly believe I was a better teacher because I was like a coach. And so I would talk about that. But yeah, definitely like, don't like throw your job under the bus. But you can still share like little things that, you know, how you've improved and how you're better.
Yeah. And I feel like that's something that I'm sure if you guys have started drinking Shakeology, or when you start to work out, you feel more energy. Like, that's just a natural reaction that happens in your body when you're taking care of yourself. Your energy increases. And so that alone right there is something that you can share in every single post, because how many people working full-time jobs come home at 3:30 or 4 o'clock and want to like take a nap and go right to bed, or sit on the couch and lounge and do nothing because they have zero energy. They feel totally spent. That's how I felt. Like, I would get home at night and I was like, my cup is empty. Like, there's nothing left, until I started actually taking care of myself. Like, I hadn't exercised in years, and I was an athlete growing up. Like, of course I felt like crap. I wasn't doing the things that I knew I needed to do. So sharing those stories, sharing those things, like how you're feeling now, and not necessarily like what you dread, you can still do that. You can still share that transformation. I'm glad you talked about that. Okay, so let's talk about how to invite through a post. Okay, there are so many different ways, and I have them all listed. I don't want to scroll in. Okay, let me. I have them all listed at the end, but I want to talk about a few examples. So this is a picture of Micah and her cute little babe, and this is a call to action for coaching. Okay, so what I really like to do in call to actions, you can see like Micah's is not a side-by-side picture. You do not have to use a transformation picture in order to share a transformation, okay? For example, Micah has had an amazing transformation. In fact, like in my Google Photos or whatever, I had like, does anyone else I get like emails, they'll be like, check out this post from 4 years ago or whatever. And I had one of those today sent to me. And so I looked at it, and it was pictures of like, seriously, like some of like the first pictures I took as a coach, and some of the things. And I think I had screenshotted one of Micah's posts and her transformation, and it popped up. And it really is so crazy to me to think where she was then and where she is now. And like, you don't need that side by side though to see the transformation in her. People have been following you for a long time. They've been watching your progress over and over, which is why it is also really important to stay consistent every single day in sharing your journey, because people are watching and they're going to see that transformation unfold themselves. They're going to watch your body like literally change. They're going to watch your confidence change like right in front of their eyes. They're going to see that, and they're going to sense that. And that's what they're watching. And then when you are then ready to invite to a sneak peek or to a challenge group or to take on new coaches or whatever it might be, you have these people who've been watching for a long time, some for months, some for years, some for just a couple of days. And you're basically giving them permission to say yes. Okay, for so long they've been thinking like, gosh, I should reach out, but maybe she won't want me on her team, or maybe I'm not going to be good at it, or they have all these fears. And then when you give them permission, when you basically call them out, like Micah in this post, she says, like, what if you could take your passion for living a healthy lifestyle and building a remarkable health and fitness business online with your best friends? Would you do it? Because you can. Over the past 5 years, this is what I've done. We're moms, we're college students, we're nurses, we're teachers, we're veterans, we're personal trainers, we're fitness instructors, corporate America, military wives. Like, she literally names all the people that she wants to work with. These are all the people on my team, the people that I love and enjoy and want to surround myself with. These women empower me to dream big. Do you want to join our tribe? Like, literally, that's what it comes down to. And she just says, if you're reading this and you're like, yes, I want to be a part of this coach sisterhood. Yes, I want to empower others. Yes, I want more passion and more purpose in my life. Then you need to just go for it. Okay, so she's inviting people. She's calling them out by name. Are you a college student? Are you a mom? Are you a nurse? Are you a teacher? She's calling them out by name and inviting them to come to her. Okay? And I guarantee there are people who have been waiting for that sign. That's how I was. Micah had talked to me like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 months before I became a coach, and invited me to do, to coaching or to even just join a challenge group. And I totally denied her. Like, I actually looked into it and then I was like, yeah, this is bull crap. Like, that's what I thought in my mind. I was like, there's no way this works. And then when I saw her get results, I was like, crap, dude, this girl just paid off her husband's student loans, or she's paying for her vet school. Like, I could have been doing that this whole time. And she had a post where she shared that specific thing, that she had been able to pay for their vet school and their groceries and all of this and all of that. And here I was feeling like I was drowning, feeling like I was working hours on end, and we were barely scraping by. And I was like, that's not freaking fair. Like, that's not fair. I want to do that. Like, if she can do that, I can do that. And that's what Micah is doing in her invite, is she's saying, if I can do this, you can do this. Literally anyone can do this. Okay, we give people permission to come in. And that's what they need. They need to know it's okay and they're going to be successful. One of the things that I think holds people back the most in making decisions, whether in any part of life, like not even just in coaching or whatever, but like literally making any decisions, is like they're afraid. For me, I'm a horrible decision maker. And it's because I'm a people pleaser. So like, I hate making decisions because I don't want someone to be like, I hate that restaurant, or I don't want to go do that. It sounds boring. Or, I want people to be happy. And that's one thing that I've had to really work on, is being like, no, my happiness is more important than what anyone else thinks. Most of the time, people are just only thinking about themselves. They're not worried about what you're doing or whatever. If they're not going to make the decision, you almost have to do it for them. You have to give them that belief that they can do it too. And it wasn't until and this is where most people, they get to this point, is they get to the point where they're just sick and tired of feeling the way they feel, or being in the position that they're in, that they're willing to do whatever. They'll be willing to drop thousands of dollars if there's even a little glimmer of hope. Okay, and that's what we give them. We give them hope. We're hope givers. You guys, we get to inspire and empower and gift these people a life that they literally have been dreaming of for years. Okay, so you have to open that door, and you have to give them the opportunity to say, I can do this. All right, so I wanted to share with you guys just an example of what my feed looks like and how often, and ignore my ugly faces that I make. I don't even know what's going on. But just know, like, you have to really be sharing your journey authentically. And I say that because sometimes you're going to look at other coaches and you're going to be like, I need to do what they're doing and I need to do what they're doing. And there's a squirrel over there and there's, whatever. Like, you have to stay focused on what your goal is and what you are doing, and share more than just coaching. Obviously, like, you have so much value to give. You have so much inspiration and positivity, and like whatever it is that your vibe is, you have that to give to people. So know that your feed and what you're gifting the world, basically, because social media is like for the entire world to see, is more than just like only coming into a challenge group or only coming into coaching. You have a lot to give beyond that. And when you do that, you're then basically building relationships without even knowing it. Like, people are going to be following you. They're going to be talking to you. They're going to be interacting in your stories. They're going to be showing up on your feed. They're going to be coming and commenting and interacting with you. And you're building these relationships even when you're maybe not aware of it. And as you're doing that and as you're sharing these transformations, like, you can see I share call to actions almost, like, I would say like 3 or 4 times a week. Okay. So almost like every 1 to 2 posts. So, and a call to action isn't always, do you want to join my group? Or comment below if you want in on my coach sneak peek, or whatever. Drop your favorite emoji. A call to action could be, what would your life look like if you let the fear go? Like, you can ask them questions without, Kate does this really well. You can ask them, you can give them a call to action without asking them to drop a comment, or without asking them to drop an emoji or to fill out a form. Okay. You're giving them a question or allowing for them to think about, like, what if my life did look like that? What if I took that chance?
I love this all, by the way. But with, like, keep in mind, like, the reason why we say, like, it doesn't have to be like drop an emoji, like blah, 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 because you will find that some of your best coaches will never do that. Like, I would have never filled out a form and a link. Like, I would have never filled out a link in the bio. I would have never commented my email address. I would have never dropped an emoji. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm the silent creeper. Like, when I saw Ashley's transformation for the first time, all I did was like it. I never even followed her. Like, so that's why I think I do those little, like, breadcrumbs and, like, make people think about it, because, like, that's what I would have wanted. So you have to think about, like, you're talking to the other yous of the world. So if you're the type of person that, like, maybe you would, I doubt there's anyone on this team that's like, yes, I would have dropped an emoji the first time I saw it. It's like, usually that's not how it happens. If you're that person, like, you're a unicorn.
Yeah, amazing.
But, like, think about how if you came across a post, what would it say in order for you to think about saying yes? And a lot of times, like, for mine, it's like witty comments. Wow, someone's jamming outside. It is like witty, like, I don't know, like, kind of like calling you out, but, like, being nice. And, like, those are, like, the things that would have gotten me to be like, okay, I'm going to finally message her. Or, like, when she messages me, I'm going to sign up, like, so I love that you say, like, call to actions don't have to be like actually making an action, because I think sometimes we get, like, scared of it if it's like that.
But you're inviting them to think. Like, you're inviting them to think about a change, like, if they were to make a change.
Yeah, I love that.
So it is an action. It's just not an action on your page, maybe.
Yes. It's not like a public action.
Right. Yeah.
I love that.
And I'm not going to try and embarrass Kate, but I have her Instagram pulled up because I want to show you guys just how, like, different. So I've got my, like, just the very beginning of my feed pulled up, and you can see, like, there is a transformation post, like, a lot, like, every 2 to 3 pictures. And let me see how do I switch? Let's see. Okay, I see. So I'm going to stop sharing and then share again, but the other. I don't know how to do this any more flawlessly than I am right now. Okay, so I pulled up Kate's page and I actually scrolled all the way to the bottom because what's so cool about what Kate has done is she has showed her journey literally from like day one. I get a lot of people who will say, like, I can't be a coach yet because like I'm still on my journey. And you guys, that's the best time to be a coach. It's the best time to share your journey because people are going to look at you and they're going to be like, oh my heck, that's like me. And she's doing all these things. There was one time, you guys, I was ginormously pregnant and I shared a video of me working out. It was probably the most embarrassing thing in the whole world because I was like 37 or 38 weeks pregnant and I was trying to jump, obviously not very successfully. And people were like commenting, like tagging their friends and being like, dude, if this girl can do this, like anyone can do this. And I was like, I think I should be embarrassed by that, but I think that's cool, you know? And saying things like that where they're like, gosh, this humongously pregnant woman is working out every day. Like, what's my excuse? You know, you have to give people that kind of that wake up call. Like if this person, like literally anyone can do it. But anyway, I wanted to scroll through and just show you guys, like, you see her transformation every single day. Like I can see a huge difference in Kate from 3 or 4 months ago to Kate today. Like, look how different she looks. She looks so amazing and so happy. And you can tell that she's made a change that has completely changed her life. Like she has made simple changes every single day. And it's not even necessarily like side-by-side pictures. Okay, people are going to come to your page and they're going to like scroll down a little bit. And if they don't see anything that they like, hello, I want to go hang out on that unicorn blow up tube. That looks fun. If they don't see something they like, oh my gosh, for one, this girl's cutting up her credit card. She's not even saying anything like sharing this humongous story like, oh my gosh, we're in so much debt, blah, 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 blah. It's not a sob story. It's like, check this out. Not only am I a freaking bad A, like I look good, but I'm also debt free. That's what that picture says. And I don't even know what the caption says. But to me, that's what I see. And I see confidence and I see excitement. Like, you guys have to know like what you're sharing right now, even though you might be like, gosh, like I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm where I need to be or where I should be, or I'm not where she's at or whatever. You guys are in a journey that is still inspiring people who are just like you and who need what you have. Sorry, I don't have my comments went away or my chat did. Okay. And I think about like, what if I wouldn't have shared what if I would have said like, oh crap, like now I have 50 pounds to lose after this baby. Like, I'm just going to stop coaching for a little bit. Like, no, that seems ridiculous. Why would I leave something that is changing my life? Or why would I not share something that is helping me to get into a better place in my life? Okay. I frequently scroll Kate's Insta. Good. Okay. I hope that helps you guys understand like why it's so important to share. But call to actions don't have to be, number one, like drop this emoji or drop your email or whatever. They can just be in your pictures. They can be in your wording. How do I, oh, right there. Stop sharing. I want to go back to my last slide. There are a lot of different ways that you can share or invite people to do what you're doing. Okay. This was a call to action that I did last week. And I don't even know if I actually told them to do anything. I just kind of did a little bit of what Kate does. And I shared a little bit more of my story, but I can't remember what picture it was with. I think it was with Josie. I don't really remember. Anyway, but it was after I'd taken my kids to school, and literally, like, I had just, like, thought about it. And so I just decided I'm going to write about this. And I remember thinking, I was sitting there and I was walking my kids to school, and I never could have done that before. Like, I remember stressing, taking my kids to school, thinking like, I better figure something out when Jackson's ready for kindergarten, because like I have to be to school before he even goes. Like, what am I going to do? Like, have him go to a neighbor's house, or like, how is this going to work? That was so stressful. And that was something I never wanted to feel. I never wanted to have to drop my kids off at daycare. And so I just talked about how coaching blessed my life in that way. And I just said, today I'm feeling a lot of gratitude for the impulse I felt when I heard about coaching. It was so out of my comfort zone, so much so that I said no at first, but now I really regret waiting now that I've seen the blessings on the other side of my fears. Now when my kids are in school and when my baby's teething, I get to be here with them. I'm grateful I can be the one to walk with them, to hear their stories, to snuggle Josie when she's in pain rather than someone else doing it for me, to be able to work from home on my terms, because that's something I craved and wanted more than anything when I became a mom. If you have that same desire I did, and you want to learn exactly what I do as a coach, now's the time. You've seen my progress with the programs and you want that too. And maybe you're craving that same time freedom, the freedom to live the life you want to live. What do you have to lose other than, of course, maybe a few pounds of baby love like I did? Okay, I'm not saying like, okay, you need to come, join my sneak peek now. Like, to me, sometimes that gets so overdone. We have to allow people to just think about it and give them the freedom to reach out when they're ready. Okay. Okay, so of course you can mix up the different types of call to actions, but sharing your story, inviting people with that type of call to action every day, where you're asking them a question or inviting them to just think and to process what their life might look like if they were to make or take a chance. I think that is the best type of call to action that you can give. Of course, there are times like when your team is hosting a sneak peek, or when you are starting a challenge group, like I do those all the time too. But I want you guys to know, like, you don't want to do that every single day. You want to mix it up. You want to keep a good variety. And you want to make sure that your pictures are also sharing that story and inviting people to do what you're doing just by looking at the picture. Okay. Giving them that FOMO. That's something I know a lot of people talk about, is the FOMO of coaching, or the FOMO of time freedom. You have to really think about like what this means to you and the type of coaches you're wanting to bring into your team, and speak to those people. Okay. All right. I don't have anything else. Does anyone have questions or want to talk more about call to actions? Or, oh wait, I lied. I do have more. And I don't know why. I must have not included, oh, there it is. Dang it. There was one more slide. I wanted to talk about stories. Okay, so stories are like thebomb.com right now. You guys know that. So in your stories every single day, how many of you guys are sharing your workouts? I hope every single person at least shares one story of your workout at least. Okay, when you're doing that, you can every single day invite people to join you. You can be like, you can just ask a simple question in a poll. Do you need more help with nutrition or with exercise? What do you struggle with more? Finding something to cook for dinner, something healthy to cook for dinner, or choosing what workout you're going to do at the gym. Okay, like you can ask these little questions that allow for you then to go and invite them, like Kate is like so good at. But asking those questions and then giving them the opportunity to answer, and then going and asking the question or inviting them based on their answer. If they struggle more with food, of course, inviting them to do the 2B mindset. If they struggle more with exercise, inviting them to do a program, or both, honestly. So all of the different fun things on stories, I think you just have to take advantage of. I don't necessarily my vibe is not, I don't use the the face filters very much. That's not really my like style, but I know a lot of people who do. My style is more like using the polls or answering questions or having them fill out a form. And the question tool, what do you call these things? I don't know. The question thing, the question thing that you can ask. You know, you don't only have to say like, ask me a question. You could ask other people. You could ask your followers a question and have them answer in long form, right? Yeah, feature, I don't know. Okay, so you could say like, what's your favorite brand of whatever? And then they can type in the answer. And then you can share those, and that's really exciting for people to, yeah, what's your favorite dry shampoo? That's a good way to then, they want to be highlighted. That's like exciting for them. And so sharing their questions and sharing their answers and getting them on your feed, I think is a really cool way to get people excited. Yeah, Alyssa, it's 10,000 followers is when you get the swipe up. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. You can always direct people to fill out your form in your bio. Send, just put an arrow down to like the message and circle it and make it really fun and cute. And be like, send me a DM if you're, wanting more info, or if this workout looked fun to you. I always think making it cute and fun and engaging creates FOMO. Like that's what people want. They want to be a part of that's the type of people that I'm looking for. That's what they want. I like things that are cute. I like things that are exciting and fun. And like, I want to be in that community. And so those are the type of people that I want in mine, Another really good thing in your stories and that you can use to invite is sharing results. I do this a lot. So sharing messages you're getting. I always white out their names and their pictures because I really value their privacy. If you're not going to, I would at least ask that person if it's okay if you share their results. But I think like if you're whiting out their names and their pictures and everything, it's totally fine to share it. I'll have challengers who'll be like, oh my gosh, like I saw my message on your stories. That was so cool. Like that made me feel so good. So not only does it help draw people in to do what you're doing and provide proof that what you're helping people do actually works, but it also gets your challengers excited and creates potential new coaches who are wanting to join your tribe. So get really excited about the results that your people are getting, shout them out, share their transformations like crazy. I also really like to share like transformations of coaches and talk about, not only their physical transformations, but maybe financially, or if they're quitting their job, or if they paid for diapers, or like share their stories, share things that are impacting their lives, and do that in stories because people get to feel your emotion when you're in your stories. They get to be in that moment with you. And I just don't think there's anything that is more powerful than sharing what you're feeling in like video form. I even would challenge you guys, and I'm not like the inviting queen, but I would even challenge you in your personal invites, like your messaging, to try video on Instagram because it's really powerful. And I have done that like quite a bit, and people are always like, oh my gosh, it's so fun to see your face and to hear you speak about this. Like I can tell you're really passionate about it. It is way faster too. That's so true. I wish it was a little longer. It's like not long enough. It's like 10 seconds, I feel like, but hopefully that will improve later. Okay, what questions do you guys have, or comments or whatever? Anyone have anything additional to add? That's great too. Micah, I don't know if you're still on. Oh, there you are. Hi. You're muted. Oh, no, you're not.
You rocked it.
Yeah. If anyone, I don't know. Kate, do you have anything else to add? How do you end these things? You're like, okay, cool. See you guys.
XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Yeah, that's right. I really wish they would do a sequel to that because that was like my favorite show ever.
If they want to like make me character, that'd be great.
I feel like you would fit in really well. You'd be
Thanks.
next Blair. Blair's like secret sister.
But like a little bit nicer.
Like you'd be the opposite of her.
Oh yeah, her evil twin, but like the good one.
Okay, you guys, I hope that was helpful. And I'm sure for some of you, you're like, this is nothing new, but just know, like, the more you do it, I feel like the more opportunity people have to, you know, feel like it's okay for them to show up and to do something that they're maybe a little bit afraid to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. I think that's it. That's all I have. So,
if you are on my team and you're Melissa, will you guys stay on? And we'll wait till everybody gets off and we can stop the recording and stuff, but I have to tell you guys something.
Okay. So that's the end. If anyone else wants to hear Kate's exciting news, because she totally just created like this excitement, like everyone else hop off and I'm going to tell a secret.
It is a secret. Nobody else can know. If you guys don't hop off, then I can't tell the secret.
Bye, you guys. Thank you so much for getting on. I'll stop recording because I don't want to record your secret.